Russia is reported to have fired an intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued an arrest warrant. The Shemelish Abdesa administration blamed Fano for the brutal murder in North Showa Dera district. Our Dear series, we will start delivering these and other selected information to you. Stay tuned by sharing and subscribing. Russia is reported to have fired an intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine. The Ukrainian Air Force announced that Moscow's first ballistic missile, which had a range of 700 kilometers, had targeted the city of Dnipro. The Ukrainian Air Force, which said the intercontinental ballistic missile targeted critical infrastructure in the eastern part of the city of Dnipro, did not elaborate on the type of missile or the damage it caused. However, Dnipro Governor Serhiy Lysak said the missile set fire to an industry and injured 2 people, Reuters reported. Russia's first use of an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of carrying a nuclear warhead in the 33-month-old war in Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov responded to reporters' questions about the information provided by the Ukrainian Air Force, asking the Ministry of Defense. If Russia does indeed fire an intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine, it will be the first military use of the missile. The deposition was carried out by Ukrainska Pravda media, citing unnamed sources, that the Russian intercontinental ballistic missile RS-26 was launched into Ukraine today. RS-26 is powered by solid fuel and has a range of up to 5,800 kilometers. RS-26, which was successfully tested 12 years ago, is 12 meters long and weighs 36 tons, according to Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, data. It is also stated that the missile can carry a nuclear warhead weighing up to 800 kilograms. Although Russia has not confirmed that it has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine, Kiev has warned that the launch of long-range missiles from the United States and Britain will pay a heavy price. Moscow is said to have expressed its anger at today's firing of a Kinzhal hypersonic missile and 7 Kh-101 cruise missiles into Ukraine. It is being reported that the Russian intercontinental ballistic missile, which was used for the first time in the war in Ukraine, was fired from the Astrakhan region, which is 700 kilometers from the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. President Vladimir Putin has warned that if Ukraine launched an attack on Russian territory with missiles provided by the US and other Western countries, NATO member states will be considered to have started a direct war with Russia, and it may trigger a nuclear war. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued an arrest warrant. International War Crimes Tribunal issues arrest warrants for 3 people, including Israel's Prime Minister. A war broke out in the Middle East after Hamas, which declared that it would fight for the independence of Palestine 13 months ago, launched an unexpected attack on Israel. Israel has repeatedly stated that it will end this war only after all hostages are released and Hamas is no longer a threat to Israel. It is said that 80% of the more than 43,000 civilians killed on the Palestinian side as a result of the Israel-Hamas war are women and children. Also, on the Israeli side, 1,200 innocent people were killed, according to the UN report. The Geneva, Switzerland-based International War Crimes Tribunal has issued arrest warrants for both leaders. The arrest warrants were issued for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Hamas commander Mohammed al-Mashri, Reuters reported. Israel has previously objected to the ICC when it was announced that it might issue an arrest warrant. Shemelish Abdesa administration blamed Fano for the horrific murder in North Showa Dera district. The Oromia regional government said, Sheen facilitated the disarmament of the Fano militants when they committed brutal acts. After the release of a picture showing a brutal murder of a young man in Dera district, North Showa zone, Oromia region, anger has been sparked. In the first days of this week, the issue became a topic of discussion following the release of a picture of a young man from Dera district being killed in a brutal manner. Many are voicing their anger. It has been learned that the killing took place 2 months ago, and the young man who was killed is Durja Amore Tesfa. Following the release of the footage of the killing, it is also believed that peaceful demonstrations were held today in various higher education institutions in the region to condemn the killing. He asked them to stop the brutal killings that are being carried out in the Oromia region. He also asked the government of Oromia region to protect the safety of the citizens. Mr. Shemelish Abdesa's administration, in order to destroy Fano's name and destroy the name of Fano, has caused anger among various parties by holding Fano responsible for killing an innocent young man in the region. The ICC's decision brought problems to Netanyahu and Israel. The Prime Minister of Israel is at risk of being arrested if he travels to the 124 member states of the International Criminal Court. It is stated that the decision of the ICC may cause many countries to refrain from selling arms to Israel. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The ICC has issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant for allegedly committing war crimes in Gaza. The war crimes charges against Netanyahu and Gallant include using hunger as a weapon. The court also issued an arrest warrant for the leader of the Al-Qassam Brigade, the group's military wing, who is said to have orchestrated the October 7th attack by Hamas. Although Israel claimed to have killed Mohammed Deif in Gaza in July, the ICC issued the warrant on the grounds that it could not prove that the person was dead. Israel has challenged the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant as anti-Semitic, while Palestinian Hamas has backed the decision. Countries such as China, Russia, and India, including Israel's ally the United States, have not yet signed the establishment of the court. Netanyahu and Gallant may not dare to travel to any of the 124 countries since the court's member states have agreed to extradite people for whom arrest warrants have been issued. The Prime Minister of Israel cannot stop transit in the member states of the court to go to America. In addition to the ban on foreign travel, the warrant could also cause several countries to freeze arms sales to Israel, whose leader is under arrest warrant for war crimes. The Israeli media reported that the Netanyahu administration has rejected the arrest warrant and that it will tarnish its image by making the country appear as a perpetrator of war crimes. It is said that the promises made by various European countries, including the Netherlands, to implement the court's order is an indication that the international community is responding, even if it is delayed, to the war that more than 44,000 Palestinians are suffering. It is being said that many unnamed Israeli politicians and military leaders may also be included in the court secrecy when it issues an arrest warrant. Israel is not a member of the International Criminal Court. The arrest warrant was issued after Palestine joined the court as a member in 2015.